The two men didn't ignore each other anymore. That very day they built a bridge across the river so they could share with each other. The king was delighted with what he had seen. His frown was completely gone and a big smile had taken place. The weaver and the king made their way through the entire kingdom. By now there was so much celebration, the people cheered and the church bells rang and horns blew, and at long last the king could hear laughter of the children. The sadness was gone and the kingdom was saved. The king and the weaver returned to where they had begun. Approaching the castle gates, they watched as the last person of the kingdom pulled the ribbon from the leather sack. But suddenly, the king began to panic. There was still more ribbon in the sack. It must not touch the ground, he thought, and so he raced to catch it. But before he could reach the big brown sack, the last feet of ribbon lifted up and fluttered in the breeze. Slowly, very slowly, the red ribbon fell softly to the ground. The king dropped his knees, and his sad old frown came back. A tear puddled in his eyes and rolled down his cheek. The last hope to stop the sadness and save the kingdom is gone. What on earth shall I do now? As the king stared at the ribbon lying on the ground, he noticed something. Something wonderful. People were still cheering. Bells were still ringing. Horns were still blowing. The children were laughing. Though the ribbon had touched the ground, the celebration had not stopped. The magic is still working, the king shouted as he jumped to his feet. My dear weaver, your red ribbon is more powerful and amazing than I even imagined. You must tell me how you made it. What is it? What is the magic? Where did it come from? The weaver said nothing and simply held out his hand and pointed towards the people. The king was puzzled. I don't understand. Then he looked at the faces of his people and he listened to their voices. A big smile came on the king's face as he realized the magic is not in the weaver's ribbon. The magic is in the hands and the hearts of all who embrace it. And throughout the land, from castle to valley, from the crystal river to the big blue sea, one person turned to another and to another with smiles on their face and laughter in their voice. They sang and danced, knowing that the kingdom was saved, and as long as their hearts were joined together, they could conquer all the sadness and live peacefully ever after. I can't say the end because this is the beginning.